What is up guys, Stark here. In today's video I am taking a look at the 4-star servant coming in the new banner for Onigashima, and that is going to be Ibaraki Douji. So Ibaraki Douji is going to be the 4-star berserker, and she will go up to level 80, and at level 80 she will have 11,531 HP and 9,177 attack. So this will rank her 49th overall in HP and 46th overall in attack. If you do decide to max out Ibaraki though, she will end up with 15,282 HP and 13,667 attack. So Ibaraki is a very good 4-star servant, and comboed with Raiko in the banner makes the banner definitely worth pulling on. And she has a very good set of skills, the first one being the demonic nature of Oni A. This will increase the attack of all of your allies for 3 turns, as well as increasing Ibaraki's own Noble Phantasm strength for 3 turns. So this is like a better version of Charisma. You know, you still get a 20% attack increase at level 10, but you're also further increasing your own Noble Phantasm strength by 30% at level 10. So that's just an additional bonus on top of the attack buff already. For her second skill, it's going to be the Disengage A, which is a self buff that will remove all of her debuffs, as well as restoring her HP. As a berserker, she doesn't have too much as far as survivability normally, so this skill is going to be very helpful to remove all of those buffs and then heal her up a little bit. And then her third skill is also going to help her with her defense and survivability, and that is going to be the Morph A, which will increase her defense for 1 turn, and then it will also increase her defense again for 3 turns. So the first turn of the defense is going to be a huge amount, and then after that it's still going to be a pretty solid 30% for the following 2 turns. As for her class skill, she does only have one, and that is the Madness Enhancement B, which will increase her Buster card effectiveness by 8%. So now for her Ascension. For her first Ascension, she's going to need 4 Berserker pieces and 50,000 Quantum pieces. For her second Ascension, she's going to need 10 Berserker pieces, 6 Octuplet Crystals, and 150,000 Quantum pieces. For her third Ascension, she's going to need 4 Berserker Monuments, 5 Claws of Chaos, 4 Phoenix Feathers, and 500,000 Quantum pieces. And then for her final Ascension, she's going to need 10 Berserker Monuments, 7 Phoenix Feathers, 4 Heart of the Foreign God, and 1.5 million Quantum pieces. And then if you want to max out one of her skills from 1 to 10, you are going to need 14 Gems of Berserker, 14 Magic Gems of Berserker, 14 Secret Gems of Berserker. You're going to need 8 Claws of Chaos, you're going to need 12 Octuplet Crystals, 40 Void Dust, 12 Teardrops of Blood, 1 Crystallized Lore, and 27,200,000 Quantum pieces. So now let's talk about her command cards and her Noble Phantasm. For her command card deck, she has a predictable 1 Quick, 1 Arts, 3 Buster, so she's going to be primarily focused on Buster teams, and her Noble Phantasm is also Buster, which will deal significant damage to a single enemy, and it will also remove all of the buffs from that enemy, and on the overcharge, decrease the defense of that enemy for 3 turns. So this is a pretty powerful Noble Phantasm as a single target hit, but it doesn't really have any sort of special effects outside of that, so it is a little bit unfortunate there, but it is going to be doing a ton of damage. Next up, for some of the craft essences you can use. First up, for her maximum bond craft essence is going to be the Bone Sword, which while equipped will increase Buster card effectiveness of all of the allies by 20%, but decrease their defense by 10%. So this is an okay craft essence. Having the negative effect of decreasing the defense by 10% isn't really worth it, because you could just go ahead and throw on the Verdant Sound of Destruction or the limited 0 over for the overall Buster card increase for her. And you know, if you have limited 0 over, it's going to do more of an overall percentage. The Golden Sumo craft essence is going to be very good on this character as well, increasing her attack, and her Noble Phantasm gauge at the start of the fight is going to be a tremendous help. And then of course you have Kaleidoscope if you're just looking to use her Noble Phantasm as a quick nuke, or you know, maybe if she's one of the last characters on your team, you could just pull her into a fight and use your Noble Phantasm and wipe out that enemy. So next up for the character and review portion, first up for the top servants is going to be Hans. Hans is a very good servant for Ibaraki, being able to increase her attack and defense. You know, as a berserker, although Ibaraki does have more of a tankier berserker skill set, you know, always having the increased defense and HP gain from Hans is going to be very useful. And then the attack buff, which goes without saying. You know, anytime you have a berserker, you want to keep their attack as strong as possible. So having that is going to be very nice. He does also have a lot of arts cards, which can be used to combo with Ibaraki to, you know, get the chain going and have her use her quick cards to, or her quick card to do a lot of hits to help increase her Noble Phantasm gauge that much faster. So next up here is going to be Bride Nero. You know, she's a very good support servant. Having her first skill will be able to help Ibaraki increase her Noble Phantasm gauge. Her second skill will be able to increase the overall damage that Ibaraki does. And her third skill will be able to help keep Ibaraki alive longer. You can combo her defensive skill with Ibaraki's defensive skill to have a huge amount of defense reduction for that one turn, as well as healing her up a massive 3000 HP at level 10. Overall, it's just a very good set of skills to combo with, and again, she does have a arts heavy deck, so you could use her as the first card in the chain and then follow it up with Ibaraki's quick card to do a lot of hits. Next up on the list is going to be Mash. So again, Mash is not at her full potential yet, but this will be coming out very soon with Camelot, and you know, once she gets there, she's going to be a even better servant than she already is. But until then, she's still a very good servant in her own right. You know, she is a primarily focused defense servant, and that's fine because it can combo very well with Ibaraki's defensive skill set and keep her alive that much longer, kind of turning into a little bit of a tank. You know, you can combo her defensive skill with Ibaraki's defensive skill, again, to have a massive amount of defense reduction for that one turn, and then you have the invincibility you can throw on her as well, which will also increase her Noble Phantasm gauge. And overall, Mash is just a very good combination, and then when she does go and become a 4-star, her skills will just get that much better, and she'll become an even better option for Ibaraki. And then last but not least, we have Waver once again, who is going to provide, you know, attack buffs, defense buffs, crit buffs, Noble Phantasm gauge, all that stuff to Ibaraki to help her do the most damage that she could possibly do. So now moving on here to our overall star rankings. First up for her stats, she's going to get a 3.4 out of 5. She's got very solid stats, top 50 in both HP and attack, which is really nice considering she's a 4-star servant, so it's really nice that she does have some pretty good stats overall. Next up for her skills, she's going to get 3 stars in her skills. She has a very good set of skills, and it's definitely more of a unique type of thing that she has a defensive setup rather than a pure offensive setup as most berserkers tend to have. So it's really nice that she kind of does have a balance between offense and defense. You know, her first skill is basically a buffed up version of charisma, and her third skill gives her a massive boost to her defense, while her second skill is just more of an all-around support for herself, you know, removing debuffs and healing her HP. Overall, it just gives her a very solid kit of skills. And then for her Noble Phantasm, she's going to be getting 3.5. This Noble Phantasm is going to do a ton of damage, as well as removing the buffs from the enemy that you use it on, while decreasing their defense for 3 turns if you do have it on the overcharge. So overall, this is going to be one of the more powerful single target hits for your Noble Phantasm in the Berserker class. So next up for her survivability, she's going to be getting 3 stars. Like I said before, she does have 2 really good defensive skills, you know, one healing her and one increasing her defense by a large amount. But at the end of the day, she still is a Berserker, so she is going to be taking a lot of damage from those attacks, even with the increased defense, and that is just going to be for 3 turns. So overall, she will go down pretty fast outside of her defensive skill turns, but she still does have some sort of support to combat that, so that is why she's going to get the 3 stars there. And then for her versatility, she is going to be getting 3 stars as well in this. Being a balanced attack and defense berserker is really nice. It's very useful. You know, you can throw her onto the team, still get some pretty good damage out of her, while not having to worry too much about bringing pure support in order to keep her alive. So that's really good, but berserkers are usually more of the glass cannon type of characters. You go in there and you just do a ton of damage with the character, and yeah, they'll probably die, but they'll do their job and do a ton of damage. So Ibaraki kind of does lack a little bit in this, but she does make up for it in the fact that she can survive longer, and she does have a very good Noble Phantasm to nuke the enemy with. So that'll give her overall ranking a 3.2 out of 5, making her a very solid 4-star servant. And again, she is in the same batch as Raiko. So if you are thinking about pulling, definitely go ahead and pull. The one drawback to this, though, is that they are both berserkers. If they were different classes, it would be nice. So that's going to wrap up this video, guys. I will leave you here with Ibaraki's Noble Phantasm. Don't forget to check the links below to my Twitter, Twitch, Patreon, and Discord. And I will see you guys next time.
関係にてたたれ戻りしみの右腕は怪異となった